AITA for wanting to cut contact and uninvite me with my soon-to-be husband's mom from our wedding and lives. I get it may sound mean, but hear me out. I and my fiancé Mark have been together for 2.5 years. I had separated from my ex Leon right before me and Mark got together. Mark had saved me from an extremely stressful and abusive relationship when I was 3 months pregnant with Leon's child. Mark literally had to stop Leon from throwing glass at me and trying to make me miscarry. Mark took me in and was there for the ultrasounds, the heartbeats, even when I was in the bathroom throwing up he was there. He even said no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone believes, no matter if we are together or not, even if we don't share blood, that is my daughter and I will always love her as if we did truly share the same blood. But where the problem laid was his mom, we will call her AM. Mark had a really abusive and aggressive stepdad, he will be AD. There were many nights of him trying to hurt Mark for standing up and protecting me or his AM since AD would come home drunk or on drugs. He even came after us trying to hurt us one night because we were cooking while AM wasn't home. The police was called. I was on the ground crying and panicking as my PTSD kicked in. The police called AM said AD has never laid a hand on Mark and never would, yet a week before that he was trying to strangle Mark for protecting AM. We had to leave and stayed over at his grandparents'. That next morning I had to go to the hospital as my PTSD was putting stress on the baby and I almost lost her. After our daughter was born we told AM she couldn't see our daughter as we now knew she would rather protect an abuser over her own child. Several months passed and Mark started to miss his mom, so we gave her a second chance, but with a few rules. Do not cross us. Our daughter wasn't allowed around AD. She's not allowed to watch our child unless it's at his grandparents' or home. Do not take her anywhere. She told us okay but wouldn't realistically be hurt if we took our daughter away from her again. As months passed we saw the difference on how she treated our daughter compared to her nieces. It was a big difference, buying them clothes, taking pictures with them, creating albums with them, spoiling them, taking them out, getting them toys, etc. but not our daughter. Once Mark's brother and wife found out they were pregnant, AM said aloud, "Oh, I am finally going to be a grandmother and have a grandbaby." We asked her what she meant by that as our child was her grandchild and all she told us was, "Oh sorry, blood related." We were hurt but moved on. We got engaged and all she did was question Mark's decision and questioned if it was a smart idea. She had her first kid at 17 and we aren't the smart ones. She even asked if we should get married but we ignored her. We get married in 32 days BTW and I'm excited. Now comes to last week, she posted all 4 of her boys with their significant other, Mark's little brothers with their GFS, Mark's older brother, his wife, and their baby. Then me and Mark, but not our sweet child. We called AM out on it once again. Then AM made a FB post about how everyone is out to get her. That was NT the situation. We just wanted our daughter to be treated the same. Mark's older brother had even called her out on it too, saying yes, she's not blood but she's my niece and deserves to be treated as our family. All she says is we never give her the chance to be a grandma but we tell her when we are in town. We are one town over 30 minutes away. We try to video chat, we tell her to come visit anytime, we send her pictures. Me and Mark are at the point of no more changes, no more trying, just cut the line and be done with it. I told him I didn't want her to be at the wedding and want to take her off the list, but AITA for feeling that way. I just have a big heart and want my baby to have a family since I didn't have mine and was that black sheep in the family. I don't want her to hurt like I did. Comment. No, you are not the a-hole. Absolutely not. Firstly, her actions speak louder than any lie from her mouth. She is telling you and your future husband clearly how she feels about you and your daughter. Don't let your baby girl grow up like this. As an option. Never being a priority. I know, it's only her grandmother, but it will still hurt her. She will see how the others are threatened, and what a difference is between her and them. She will question what is wrong with her. Not with your mill, but her. You can tell your future husband he can have a relationship with your mother, but you, your daughter and future child, Ren, will not. She disrespect you every moment she can, and you will not let her threat you and your children like this. You don't deserve it. They don't deserve it either. Don't let them grow up in a world where they think this is totally normal. Actions have consequences, even with blood relatives. Good luck, and enjoy your wedding day. I wish you the best. What did Mark say when you told him you didn't want AM and AD at the wedding? His answer should tell you a lot. If he agrees with you, You're definitely NTA because he doesn't even want his own family there either. If he disagrees, maybe you can work out a compromise. I would worry about Ad's behavior at the reception though. If he gets drunk and aggressive, that would definitely put a damper on your party. Maybe just invite them to the ceremony only. If you cut that person, and her partner, out of your lives, you and your child, you would be smart, intelligent, and a good mother to your child. This woman is toxic, and an enabler of a violent addict. I understand you're so misses his mother, but be realistic, this is for him. She defends a person that tries to seriously harm you. This is not the action a mother would take. Next story 2. AITA for not wanting to have anything to do with my abusive and alcoholic cousin. I come from an Indian/Bengali household living in the suburbs near Kolkata. My family is a relatively traditional family, and frankly, I dislike everything in the household since it follows the strict gender role. I am the youngest in the family and vicious generational cycle since I did not grow up with my cousins. This cousin of mine is the only son of my family and also the son of the eldest brother. The rest of them have girls. He is much older than me, so when he got married I was just around 10 years old. I don't remember much. Yet around 5 years ago, it was revealed that he was a raging alcoholic and beat his wife, his father, my uncle, and verbally abused her family. After it was known, the entire family had an uproar since no man in our family actually physically abused anyone. There was mental abuse, however. I remember after everything was exposed, things got so bad that my sister-in-law and her 10-year-old daughter had to find refuge in our house for one night because of his abuse. However, my family keeps connection to him and doesn't want to give up on him because he is the only son of the family, etc. But I dislike him and I don't hide my dislike towards him. I have no problem with him and my father keeping connection with my uncle, but I really don't want anything to do with him. I have my fair share of regret, but I have always supported women, and even though my Sil might not be a perfect victim, she is still a victim who cannot get out of the marriage because of financial issues. I could have ignored his existence and never talked to him in any family function. I never do since we are not close in age, but after my graduation he made comment about my education qualification. I had admitted in Calcutta University with Enhanced degree, but by second year I changed it into general degree because I fell into depression and burnout completely, so I took a break for 2 years and learned Japanese. So he once in a gathering scoffed and said not everyone can handle English honors, it's very hard degree. Which is big coming from him because he is just a high school pass and the job he got was his mother's government job after she passed away. If she didn't, he could never get a job with that qualification. From then on it was personal and ethical problem. Now whenever he is mentioned I would get angry and stop my father from talking and receive replies like I am overreacting and I shouldn't treat my family like this. Next story 3. AITA for not inviting my mom's brother and his family to my wedding. I made the decision not to invite my mom's brother, his wife, my aunt, and their son, my cousin, to my wedding due to decades of rude behavior and the lack of a close relationship with me. We used to see each other at family reunions when I was younger, but now that I have a choice, I don't attend these gatherings. We don't communicate at all, and I've chosen to prioritize having people close to my fiancé and me at our wedding. The save the dates were sent out, and my aunt asked my mom about them because someone must have told her. My mom apologized and said that she had no control over the guest list. Also, I'd like to add that my fiancé and I are the only ones paying for the wedding, so I would have hoped we could do what we wanted. They're really over the top, selfish, and chaotic to be around. One incident that reinforced my decision was at my grandmother's funeral, which my mother planned herself with no assistance from her brother's family. My aunt got extremely upset about the food not being served promptly and berated my grieving mother. Witnessing this behavior at such a sensitive moment was difficult for me. Another event was at another cousin's wedding to which they were invited. My aunt threw a tantrum about the food quantities, disregarded the ceremony rules by filming and taking photos, sang loudly during the bride's procession, and sobbed loudly. Furthermore, my cousin's behavior at that wedding was concerning, as he manipulated the waitstaff into providing extra food and broke kosher rules to get unauthorized chicken. He also made guests uncomfortable by persistently hitting on girls during the event. I don't want any of this happening at my own wedding. My uncle isn't the greatest, because he lets his wife and son do what they please. Also, he tries to start political disagreements, which I won't get into. He's not as bad as his wife and son, but only inviting him without them isn't an option. My mom continually spoke of the harm not inviting her brother would bring to her relationship with him, but she eventually stopped mentioning it, and I thought the issue had blown over. Today, My mom's cousin called to inform me that my decision has upset the entire family. First I was told that his son expressed such strong disagreement, to the extent that he might not attend, and that this situation will cause irreparable damage to the entire family. He urged me to reconsider and make the right decision. Overall, it was an uncomfortable conversation that left me feeling terrible. I felt like a child being reprimanded. I don't plan to reverse my decision. They make me super uncomfortable, and I want my wedding to be stress-free. All of my life I have tried to make other people happy, and I think it's my turn to be happy. AITA here? I think my entire mom's side thinks so. Comment. It is your wedding, which you are paying for, so it is completely the decision of yourself and your fiancé. End of story. Their subsequent behavior, and that of those other family members complaining, thoroughly justifies your decision. You may want to consider uninviting them, as well. For the specific aunt, uncle, and cousin, consider warning security at your venue to not permit them to enter, just in case. Provide photos of them for security so that they are prepared. You're paying for it, your wedding, your choice. However, be prepared to deal with the fallout from your family. It's not your responsibility to make them feel warm and fuzzy, but keep in mind what your decision will entail, long term. The long list of past grievances is really unnecessary though. Your guest list is up to your discretion, no need to air out your whole history. You don't have to have anyone there who you don't want, especially not people you barely talk to normally. Your mom's family can suck it up, the wedding isn't about them. If they want a family reunion, they can plan one and pay for it themselves. Your wedding, your guest list. None of the rest matters unless they're paying the bill. Be clear that anyone who voices discontent at the list will be summarily uninvited too.